Welcome everybody to another week of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast. We're really excited to have our first siblings edition this week, which was a blast, to get to catch up with Kylie and Owen and kind of learn their story and where they came from. So hope y'all enjoy.
And our supreme champion female is our national champion, Charlet. I feel the power of Kim Bullock.
She's not just a lady for a day, she's lady for life. Weekland lady, 211 and Weekland bull, 41.
They've done it again. Our grand champion, supreme champion, Weekland Cattle Company. Did you feel the tremor? KR Tremor 70.
Welcome to the Next Gen Cattle Podcast.
If you're a cattle producer who understands that stress, environment, and transition directly impact performance, this will resonate. We're Kim and Jackie from Grow Your Life, where we support producers behind the scenes because regulated humans make clear decisions that protect the bottom line. We also teach AIM, the Animal Intuitive Method, a practical body-based system used with cattle herds to help animals settle, realign, and return to function during calving, weaning, hauling, breeding, and change. When people and animals are regulated, losses go down and outcomes improve. Find us at Grow Your Life with Kim and Jackie on Apple and Spotify and at aimhealing.ca.
Well, welcome everybody to episode 14 of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast. We're really excited this week to have our first sibling edition with Kylie and Owen Willms. So welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
For sure. Maybe just you guys can touch on kind of the operation there at Wilbar and what kind of goes on.
Yeah, for sure. So we're located just half an hour south of Saskatoon near Dundurn, Saskatchewan. And we started raising registered cattle back in 1963. Our great-grandparents, Jake and Bernice, were really interested in the purebred cattle sector, and at the time, I guess Hereford cattle were all the rage, but unfortunately, they couldn't afford Hereford cattle, so they were directed towards some commercial Angus, and they really liked how the Angus worked. They thought that they were super easy to manage and something they could build off of. So they got a hold of 6 registered cows, and to this day, we actually have some of those cow families still working in our herd. And so then my grandpa and my great uncle were also passionate about farming. And so they sold cattle at the Regina Bull Sale, is where we sold bulls for a number of years, sold heifers kind of across Saskatchewan. We only had black cattle till about the mid-70s. And then my grandpa Dan decided he wanted to try out some reds, and that's when reds were just imported into Canada. So it was a pretty new thing. And he built up a little herd of them, but my great-grandpa Jake despised the red cattle. He thought they were just defects, so he made my grandpa disperse them. And then we kept working with the black cattle most of the 80s. I think we had a few Charlet cattle in there, so some questionable decisions at times. Yep. And they also were working on building the grain farm, which is around 15,000 acres. And yeah, then decided to get back into the reds in the late 80s. And meanwhile, in Cochrane, Alberta, which is where my mom is from, her family had a commercial cattle operation. And they lived really near where Triple S Red Angus, so that's Sibbald's, and they were kind of one of the first purebred Red Angus breeders in Canada. And my grandpa kind of fell in love with the red breed, and he knew my mom really wanted to get into purebred cattle, and he thought reds were kind of the way to go. So in 1989, my mom bought her first purebred red heifer at Red Roundup, and she kind of fell in love with the people of the breed and just how they were super welcoming to her, and there was a lot of room for growth within the breed. And then mom and dad got hitched, and they brought mom's 20 red purebred cows out here. And we actually still have a couple of those cow families now that are our most prominent ones. and she out-stubborned my great-grandpa Jake, who has never liked the Reds, but she won that battle, so we kept him, and we're pretty grateful we did.
Yeah, fair enough.
And yeah, yes, and then mom and dad kinda did the grain farm thing for about 10 years after they were married, but then everyone else was kinda focusing on the grain farm, and they both really loved the purebred cattle thing, so they bought the cow herd in 2013, and they made some pretty big changes because there were a bit too many cows for them to handle on their own, so they made some big culls and some big decisions, and yeah, we had a purebred, like our tools of the trade bull sale we had with the Blacklock family and Harders when they had Charolais cattle, so we had that in Saskatoon for a long time, and then in 2013, mom and dad transitioned to our sale at the farm, and yeah, they kinda just set a vision for always, wanting to improve the cow and, nitpicking all the little things and just working on those small things to kinda piece everything together and get to a bigger goal, and surrounding themselves with people they looked up to, which Owen and I are pretty grateful for because they've surrounded themselves with so many of our mentors, and yeah, we're pretty lucky that way. And
Yeah. So now we have about 300 head, about 250 purebreds, and 50 recip cows for ET work. We're about half and half red and black Angus. Yeah, so, and we also sell females now in the Opportunity Knox sale with all kinds of Blairs
Yeah,
every
the
December.
whole family tree of them.
Yeah.
it's always like a family reunion, and then us.
Yeah, we're just tagging along.
For sure. Well, and it's such a cool story to hear kinda, and for me, and like I know you guys, but have never really heard the story, right? So it's really cool
Mhm.
to see that kinda two programs can kind of amalgamate into one, and then have that vision when your parents got married of you trying to be better and be picky, and then look at the success now, right? Like it's yeah, that's a cool story for sure.
Yeah, we're
Um,
pretty lucky to have them around.
Yeah, for sure. Well, every time I think of, you guys as a family, I always the iconic video of your mom running across the ring at Supreme and then jumping into your dad's arms. I was thinking about today and just like the true passion that, as a family you guys all share, right? Because I think I was trying to remember, but that year you guys had the Hennessy Bowl and then a Black Angus Bowl and a bread too, I think, in there, right? Like you guys had three.
Yeah, we had 3 in the Supreme that year. It was
Three
pretty
almost, yeah.
cool.
Oh, totally. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, maybe just touch on, I guess, how you guys are involved and kind of what roles you guys play around the ranch.
Well, right now I'm living in Saskatoon and I'm working for T-Bar C as a graphic designer, and they're only about half an hour out of Saskatoon. Um, but then I'm home, I'd say pretty much every weekend to try and help just with odd jobs or anything. And I mean, we've done that for quite a few years now, and we're kind of getting to the point where we get to weigh in on a lot of the decisions. And yeah, I think we we work together as a family
For
pretty
sure.
much on every aspect of the farm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in Olds right now, taking egg management. That's a 2-year program, and I'm in my first year. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, I've just been kind of helping people around Olds with odd jobs, whether it's picturing or clipping bulls, working on a show steer or something like that. So yeah, I'm having a good time out there.
I'm sure you're wearing in old bulldogs pretty nicely too.
Yeah, yeah, make a visit there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I should have called you last weekend when I was stranded in Olds with a truck that didn't want to work.
Oh yeah,
I guess to kind of go with the whole Wilbar theme right now, I guess if you guys had to come up with, like one name that kind of, represents the Wilbar brand, what do you think that would be?
that's a tough one. I don't know. There's a few you could go with. One that comes to mind would be family, because we do everything as a family. We make decisions. We do all the work together. And if you want to tie it into the cow side, we do focus a lot on our certain cow families and what works.
And touching on the family thing, it's such a, you know, as a, as a kid and having parents that farm, when that kind of connection happens when you guys can all make decisions together. And I know like when you're young, it's always like, oh, I just wish they'd give me the chance, to help make decisions. And then when it finally happens, it feels like you have the whole world at your reins, right? Because it's something that I know I look forward to, my parents, and getting to help make decisions and kind of what happened. And so I would imagine it'd be the same with you guys. Once you have that opportunity, it's a pretty good feeling for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then to share the success too, and knowing that you all played, a really important part in it, and that you all get to enjoy it together as well.
For sure.
I guess switching over to the brother and sister I guess theme here. What challenges, or advantages do you think you guys have as, working as a team on stuff?
Well, I'm sure it's been quite challenging for Owen to grow up living in my shadow, but he's gotten used to his place on the totem pole, and we're doing pretty good now. Yeah, I think there's a lot of advantages to it. We kind of just, since we've been raised the same way and taught kind of similar ways to do stuff, we have a lot of the same approaches to getting just day-to-day jobs done. It's really handy on the show cattle aspect of things. Owen likes to wash, I like to dry. He fits bellies and backs, I fit tops and fronts, and we're kind of like a well-oiled machine, I guess, when it comes to stuff like that. We used to fight quite a bit when we were younger, like physically
Yeah.
fight. And Owen was just never able to beat me, so we stopped.
I don't know if that's true. It just, when I was finally big enough to win, it had to cease.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was one year at Agribition when I think everyone had tied out and it was after show day, and all the parents are drinking at the stall, and Owen and I are just like wrestling on the bed pack, and I've got him pinned down, and then I climb up to the top of the front panel and just like body like slam him.
WWE style.
Yeah, so I think that's when mom and dad were like, all right, this is enough.
Start drinking, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Find a different hobby.
Yeah.
We're just going to take a quick break here, folks, to introduce Mock Stock, the product designed to help create professional fitters all from the comfort of your own home. With our lifelike practice fitting legs, you can train, practice, and perfect your fitting skills without needing a live model. It's realistic, practical, and built to help you gain real-world confidence and precision. Whether you're learning, refining your technique, or leveling up your craft, Mockstock makes professional practice accessible. Check out our socials or visit our website for more details. That's Mockstock. Practice like a pro. Now back to the podcast. What if you guys each had to pick your favorite animal around the place, what do you think? What would those be?
Mine is a personal pick. It was my third ever show heifer. Her name's Mayflower, and she's was the first ever cow that really worked out for me. She's still a donor cow in her herd. She's got quite a few daughters that are working for me, and she's always had a couple sons in the bull sale, and I just feel a bit of a personal connection to her. Yeah, and then there's, the other ones like Hennessy and Dexterity. That was the black show bull that year. Beretta was the high selling bull in our sale last year. Stranglehold, he's the yearling bull we showed this year. There's lots of those kind of bulls that I feel a little partial to.
For sure, fair enough. Well, and the memories that go with them too, right? And I think,
yeah, for sure,
especially once you start showing them and you make one with top 10 or a couple of top 10, then it's always like, if you ever got to sell them, it's like, that it's like, or you keep them or whatever, right? It's yeah, the memories that go with them for sure.
Then my favorite cow in our herd would be, actually, I showed her the same year Owen showed that Mayflower cow. Her name's Helga, and she was actually the most stubborn show heifer I ever had. Like, you could not get a blower in front of her shoulder. You can get a hose up there. Like, she was actually miserable. But off the halter, she was such an angel for some reason, and she's always been the quietest cow. And we actually sold half of her to Taron in 2019, I think. So it's kind of cool to be partnered with some of our friends on her, and she's always easy to spot because she always sits like a dog on the bed pack. So
Nice.
yeah. Yeah.
I guess kind of going with that too. What would your favorite memory be? Kind of You know, whether it's at home growing up or showing cattle or
For me, I mean, winning the Supreme in Edmonton and Regina last year was really cool. But one memory I have from Agribition, which has always been kind of my favorite show, I think I was either 10 or 11, and it was when like the old setup was happening. So I think Kirk Stierwalt had his grooming competition in like that all like green kind of sail ring that used to be there. And so I had planned to be on a team with Callie Steen and Colt Blacklock. We had it all planned out, but Callie and I had buggered off to the trade show all day, and we come back with our lemonades in hand, and our moms are like, "You guys are too late. Like, you should have been ready. You should have been getting the heifers ready. Like, you're not going in it anymore. We'll find Colt a different teammate. Like, you guys can stay and watch the stall." And we were like bawling, and they give us the brooms, and we have to like sweep the alley, and we're just crying. And so then Colt gets partnered with Riley Borson and Chase Bruno, and they're gonna go on a team, still use one of our heifers. We have to like help them get ready just to rub it in a little bit more that we should have been at the stall. And I mean, to be fair, I think that was the year that I went to the trade show all 7 days of the week. So like it was probably justified that I didn't get to do grooming. Um, and then so they go up, and then Callie and I's dads come over and they're like, your moms are overreacting. Like, you guys can go in grooming. They brought Sienna Borson over. We're like, we entered another team for you. Get up there. So we go up and we pass Callie's mom because she had a co-op booth, and she's like, "Oh, you're helping the boys get up there," and we're like, "Nope, we're in it." And she was livid. I don't even want to think about the conversation between the moms and the dads after that.
Nice.
But we go in there and we honestly had no clue what we were doing, but we whooped the boys. And you know what? That's probably one of the only times I've ever beat those boys in grooming. So I'll remember it forever.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite cattle showing memory would probably be when Hennessy got slapped for Supreme at a farm fair, just because I'd never thought that we were in that like league. When you see the Supreme winners, you're like, ah, I wish I could be one of them. And just to see that we'd finally made it to there, it was pretty cool. I didn't see it coming. It was it was pretty awesome.
For sure. And Anne Marie's iconic, you know, finger gun kind of
Yeah,
That was so
yeah,
good.
standing between the two, first like your bull and then Tyler's bull, and like kind of looking back and forth, and everyone's like, "Whoa."
yeah. That was the cattle showing memory. I don't have any stories quite like Kylie's. I never got into that kind of trouble with mom, but yeah, that farm fair memory really sticks out to me.
For sure. And I guess going with that, maybe talk about that Hennessy bull a bit and kind of talk about his story.
He is our own breeding. He's out of our highlight herd sire, who's been pretty influential in our herd the past few years. And he's out of one of our favorite cows, who's now a donor cow. And we showed him as a bull calf. He was always super competitive, and we kind of thought he brought a lot of things to the table in terms of just masculinity and extra muscle and performance, just kind of things that maybe the Red Angus breed needed just a little punch of. And I thought he just did a really good job of embodying those qualities. And then we sold him in our 2023 bull sale. We sold half of him to Row Rich Cutting Edge Cattle in North Dakota. And they used him that year. He bred quite a few cows, and then he came back here in July and we got him ready. And he was reserve at Farm Fair and Agribition in the Red Angus Bull Show. And then as a 2-year-old, we used him on quite a few cows in the spring and then got him ready. And he was a 3-time qualifier for the Supreme. And yeah, Farm Fair, we were lucky enough to get slapped. And as you said, that was so cool with Anna Marie doing that. My heart was out of my chest when she was just standing there looking at the two bulls. It was really crazy. And when she slapped him, I think mom and I were just standing there and we had no idea what to do. We just stood there, and then people were hugging us. We were kind of in shock. And then, yeah, and then it was really cool to win the Supreme at Agribition, and I don't think a Red Angus bull has ever won both
Oh,
before, so that was
wow.
cool.
And I think in, like, in recent memory, I don't think like, it's been a while since a bull has won both, I think, like,
Yeah.
fair and Agribition for sure, so that's a whole feat just on its own.
Yeah, it was super cool, and I think one of the coolest parts about showing him was just kind of the traffic you get to your stall and just the attention it gives your program. I remember Justin Morrison talking about how when he showed that rose cow, no matter who you were, when that cow walked by, no matter what barn she was in, like people stopped and looked at her because she was so cool. And I kind of felt it was a similar thing with Hennessy, just all the people at our stall. And even this year when we were showing two sons of Hennessy, like it was just cool, the people coming and looking. And Dad said that was one of the coolest parts in Regina was when they brought him up to the ring. And I think they had him tied in someone's stall in the Hereford barn for a bit, and he was just kind of swarmed. And just those moments are so cool. And yeah, I think the traction it's given our program in the last year and a half has been really insane. And
Yeah, it kind of opened up a new market to us in terms of international stuff. Like it really took off the stuff that we can sell to the US and even Mexico and overseas. It's pretty cool what that's done for us. And then in terms of his production, he's been really one of a kind in the red breed for our herd. His first calf crop of sons, they averaged 40 in our sale, which was just crazy. That's never happened for us before. He had three of our higher selling females this year, and yeah, it was just really cool.
Oh, for sure, and I think the best part about that, is it's great to win supreme and all that, but they still got to be a cow after, right, or a bull or whatever the situation is, and then to see that what you hoped he would do, he carries on, and he's putting that into his sons or his daughters or whatever it may be, and then you guys are also getting success out of that, and I think that's what we've talked about a lot on podcasts before, that whole like full circle moment, right, of like all the work that builds up to it, and then the show's done, and he just becomes a bull, but then he carries that legacy on through all of his protege for sure.
yeah, for sure. Because I mean, the main intent with him wasn't ever to be a show bull. It was just to kind of improve our herd. And that's kind of what we believe with all the cattle we end up showing. Like, we're not really striving for them to just be show cattle, they have to do a lot more.
100% for sure. And those are the best programs, right? Because
Mhm.
they got to be, regardless of if they come out of the ring with a banner or not, they got to be cows to make money. What do you think the future looks like for you guys in terms of Wilbar and the role that you guys will play?
I think we both have plans to come back and work together on the farm. That's kind of always been our goal for
Yeah.
kind of our whole lives, and we work pretty well together. I think we're opposite enough that it kind of works together and we don't fight too much.
For sure.
So yeah, and I think I'd like to continue the graphic design thing, but I think that's something that I can definitely do on the farm as well. And yeah, I think we'd like to expand the numbers of the cow herd a little bit if the markets allow us to. And
Sure.
yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
I guess going with that too, what would be some goals you guys would kind of have, for Wilbar in general, kind of within the industry?
Well, I think just keep on doing what our parents have been doing, trying to always improve the cow herd, trying to keep with a similar type throughout all of our cows. Um, Keep on trying to do well in the show ring and in the sale ring.
Yeah, I think we really idolize a lot of the programs that are able to have so many like three-quarter sibs, half sibs, just kind of the same cow families that are proven to work. I think that's really impressive when you look in a catalog and a big chunk of those are related and they're reliable. So I think if we could work towards that, that would be really cool.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. What your favorite activities outside of the cattle industry?
Back in my day, I was a big football guy, but then I wrecked my whole right leg. I had an ankle injury and then a knee injury, so that kind of took me out of that. But I've always really enjoyed football. Um, I've gotten into golfing. And we both really like skiing. Our family used to do annual ski trips all the time, and we're looking to get back into that.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed curling. I was a competitive junior curler for quite a few years, and I'm just taking a break right now. And then I plan to get back into it in the next couple of years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing, I've never like I think pretty well every other sport, I've tried, but curling is not one that, I've ever I've had to give her a try here at some point. I know there's a just in town here, there's a huge indoor curling rink and they have what's the word for a curling tournament?
A
Boss
boss
deal.
deal.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, they have those. It's like every other weekend, so maybe I'll
Oh, you should get in it.
have to give her a
I
try
think it's
one
pretty
time.
easy to learn. Yeah,
Throw rocks down ice. It's like it sounds like up
exactly.
my alley.
It's easy peasy. Yeah, you'll get it.
If you guys could leave one piece of advice for a junior just starting in the industry, what would it be?
Just network as much as you can because the people you're going to meet at junior shows now, like, not only are some of them going to be probably your lifelong friends, they're going to be people you're going to work with if you remain in the cattle industry. So I think just getting to know anyone and everyone within your breed, outside of your breed, I think is really important. And also just always reach out for help. There's always more that you can learn. And I think majority of people in this industry will always be willing to give you a helping hand. I think there's a rare few that wouldn't. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and for me coming from, I never I guess once I started showing, I was kind of almost too old to, do those junior things. But, just that connection of, the few people I did know, and then you start going to shows and it's that much easier just to, network because you have those people, right? And, for me, I always think back, if I would have attended that showdown in, I think it was Barrie the one year that was in Ontario or, some more of those junior shows, how much easier that networking would have been and how many more of my lifelong friends that I would have met earlier for sure. It's
Yeah, definitely.
for sure. Well, we got the host gets hosted question here now. So if you guys have a question for me, I'd do my best to answer.
Okay, I think we've got a couple. I'll go first. If you could take 20 cows from any cow herd in Canada, which one would you choose?
Oh, I'd probably have to go with Brooking with
Fair
Maury.
enough.
I
I
think,
think that might be our answer.
yeah, I think even Sam and I talk about it a lot. We have kind of like it'd be nice to buy a cow like out of this family from this operation and that operation, and I think a lot of the time it always ends up at Brooking, and it's like, yeah, if you could just walk in and take 20 cows, it'd be a pretty damn good start, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Oh, the other one we had was so you fit on both Supreme Champions this year, correct?
Yep, yep.
So what did you fit on them and just kind of how does it feel to be a part of those teams and just kind of see those emotions with your close friends?
Yeah, for sure. So Wheatland would have been offside back leg on the cow. And then actually the same on Tremor as well, offside back leg. I'm very thankful for the families that that have allowed me to help and that I've got to meet certain families and kind of grow friendships with them too. Yeah, it's humbling for sure. I think, the first year that I helped Corey Lees, we won with Evolve, and then last year with Wheatland, and then this past year, I guess, again with Wheatland and KR. It's yeah, it's definitely a dream come true. As a kid, not growing up showing and not really taking it seriously till I was probably 12 or 13, and then just kind of setting my sights on. Well, at first it was being a steer jock, but I learned pretty quickly that maybe that isn't necessarily the path I wanted to take. But yeah, it's getting to celebrate with those guys and gals and their friends and family. It's yeah, there's no better feeling for sure. Not only the pride of getting to help on them, and then also getting to celebrate with them and have a few beers after and kind of reminisce. Or even with Cord and Reed the other day, we were talking about it. And it's just like it just gives you chills every time you talk about it for sure.
Hmm. It sounds like you're kind of a good luck charm to have on the fitting crew. I'll have to reach out to you.
It's it's crazy, and I was never a person of superstition ever. Like before, it's like whatever, it doesn't matter. I have a shirt, and yeah, the 4 Supremes in Regina, the one at Farm Fair with Prairie Cove, and the steer in Calgary. I had that shirt on every time. So that shirt is stays in the closet in the corner, and it's only for special occasions that it comes out.
Yeah, you better put it in a safe or something.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I should just hang it on the wall and just
Yeah.
admire it. And it's like, it's disgusting. Like, like black paint all over it, and like the one sleeve's ripped and there's stains on it. But it's like, it's the shirt.
It's the one, yeah.
The one. Yeah, we'll round it off here, guys, with some rapid fire sibling editions. So, who's the better driver?
I am.
We're a bit disputed on that. We were talking to Mom about that. She thinks I was.
I did not hear that
I guess we should
conversation.
have had your parents on, and they could have answered the questions for you guys.
Yeah.
I passed my test the first time, so I think it's me.
I can't really argue with that.
SGI agrees.
Who is most likely to die first in a zombie apocalypse?
Kylie would go. She'd be one of the first 10, I think.
Yeah, I've got no fighting instinct. I'd be pretty doomed. My best bet would be to try to make friends with them, but
That's what you would try to do. I think.
yeah.
Who's a better cook?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen makes a really good steak and mac and cheese.
There you go. I think we're gonna have to. We were talking about this last week, well, with Caden actually, when I was stranded in Olds, and we're gonna have to do like some kind of cook off in at Farm Fair Regina this year, and every day have a different crock pot meal, and then everyone brings some crock pot and everyone tries their own. It'd be good for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
And who's the favorite child out of the two of you?
Well, only one of us made Brian and Tracy parents, so I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Come on. Oh, once again, I'm growing up in the shadows, eh?
Yeah, I actually think that our mom and dad's corgi dog is the favorite child.
Yeah.
That is the most spoiled thing
We're
ever.
a close third behind the two dogs.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And the last one, who's the cleaner out of the two of you?
Neither of us are very great at that one.
Yeah, maybe me by like a hair, but we're kind of both very type B, so yeah.
Sure. There you go. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. It was great to catch up, and yeah, hopefully we might see you at one of these spring shows here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
For sure.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to episode 14 with Kylie and Owen. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun with this one. Stay tuned, guys. We got more exciting stuff for you guys to see here in the coming weeks. We're really excited, how things are going. We got our most requested guest coming up next week. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you then.